Hey everybody, how you doing? Skip Moody here with After the Ghost, giving you guys some updates about what's been going on recently. Pretty cool things. One thing is that we got our footage from over the last year, and so we got the chance to be able to look at some of that, and that's been a huge blessing. To be able to go back over your script and go back over your shots, and to be able to plan and look and see if you are doing what you want to do. And then ultimately you look and say, wow, yeah, that's looking really good. So that's a blessing for us. The other thing is that over the last couple of months we linked up really with a group called Kingdom League International, and many things that they do here in the area, but one of them is prayer. One of the big focuses is prayer. And I had really felt that there needed to be more prayer for what we're doing. There just needed to be a wall of prayer. And so Tim Taylor and Brenda Taylor and the whole Kingdom League International team been a great support, and we hope for that to be growing. And as we work alongside with them, check them out on their website, or just Google Kingdom League International. Other than that, also just going forth and raising the funds, or trying to. And this last month, we're still going forward, looking to be able to bring things in. And it's one of those things that it never moves, at least in my mind, as fast as I want it to. It just hasn't moved as fast. And when you are filled with vision and you're filled with passion, that can be so frustrating. You're sitting there, you're wanting to be able to move on something, and the inability because of resources, finances, you feel challenged. And I started thinking about even some of the people in the Bible, and I thought, it's raising. A lot of times people talk about when you're raising funding for things, it's a numbers game, right? It's a numbers game. But I thought, what? With God, it's not a numbers game. It's a numbers game on the normal side of things. On every day, I understand, just the logical sense of raising funds and contacting as many people. And if you contact so many people, one or two of those, maybe someone who's going to partner up with you. But on God, He leads. It wasn't a numbers game with His disciples. It wasn't a numbers game when He told them to put their nets on the other side of the boat. It wasn't a numbers game when He said, pull this fish up and there was a coin in its mouth. It wasn't a numbers game, when Abraham went down into Egypt there. It wasn't a numbers game. It's you are led. And I thought about the scripture where it says, man's plans are in his heart, but the Lord directs his steps. And so through that, I want to be led. I don't want to have to go to 1,000 and 2,000 people, and as we go and build forth and try to move with these projects. If that's necessary, then that's necessary. But I really want to be able to be led. I want to be able to just have my steps ordered by the Lord. And if God's directing me here, God directed me there, I want to be able to follow. And so, that's part of what I'm doing now, is making sure that I'm listening. Because God can lead you, but you may not listen. And and it's so important just on the obvious sense of listening and to what God is saying, especially when you have a project or a vision in which is a kingdom project, kingdom vision, something that you believe that the Lord wants you to do, because you can have this plan, you can have this idea to do something really good, something really cool, a really great vision idea, and the challenges of trying to get that thing come up. And you begin to diminish or try to dumb down what the initial vision is just to try to accomplish something. It's kind of like I could take this camera that we're using now, and we could get some friends and family members together, and we could go film After the Ghost. We can do it at my house, but that's not the vision. That's not the plan. That's not what I saw. And so there's this mix of not doing what I can do, but doing what I see. Because you can do what you do pretty easily, but can you do what you see? Or can you do what God has shown you? Will you do what God has shown you? Will you do what you see? And there becomes a challenge, because what you can do, you can generally do on your own, or maybe with some help. But doing what God has shown you, that's going to take Him. That's going to take the involvement of believing. That's going to take faith. That's going to take patience. I don't know about you, but I know patience is a virtue, but that's sometimes a challenge. It's a struggle, holding on, trying to wait for those type of things. But there's a benefit in that, because to turn around and take a small camera and do try to film a project, it doesn't come out the way you want it to. And I know a lot of you have seen projects like that. You rented them or watch them on TV and like, oh man, this doesn't look that good. Well, what happened? I don't know what happened on that particular project, but that might not have been their vision. Our vision is for something for excellence, for something that's going to be able to change lives. It's going to be eternal. So we're just really excited about that and moving forward. We're thankful to be hooking up with these different prayer warriors and groups. And even when I watch shows, like there's a show called the Shark Tank. I don't know if any of you guys watch it. And some of the people come on there and they pitch to these different investors. And there's about 5 of them. And sometimes the investors pick up the project and sometimes they don't. Well, every once in a while, they'll show sort of like the seasons before of people they either invested in or people they didn't invest in. And one of the cool things of seeing the people that they did not invest in is that because of the exposure that they had on that show, that there were people that wanted to link up with them. And they ended up being, very successful. Why? Well, because someone saw the potential in what they were doing. And they made that connection. The person that came on the show, they didn't know those people before, and that's what I love, is that I'm looking for these connections, these God connections, these steps that can be ordered. Not doing just what I can do, but doing what I can see, and that's only going to be accomplished by the ordering and the hearing and the following of what the Lord is saying and being obedient to that. And everything's not going to make sense. That's why it says a man's plans are in his heart, but the Lord directs his steps. Because if it was your steps, then it would make sense to you. But the sense may not be there. Now that's where the faith comes in. The Bible says we walk by faith, not by sight. And so when God orders your steps, you're going to have to walk by that faith. You're going to have to take that step into something that you probably wouldn't have chosen yourself. And so I just thank the Lord for that today, and just for what we're doing, and for the encouragement. Thank you for all the prayers and all the blessings and well wishes towards us. And write in, continue. We love to try to respond, when we can. And for all those you out there trying to make your projects, I want to tell you just to stay diligent, stay obedient, stay encouraged. That if God's placed something in you, that He'll bring it to pass. That He's not going to falter. He's not slack, as some consider Him to be slack, or consider to be what slackness is. God's not slack concerning His promises. And so even though it seems like He's tearing, and that's something that I have to hold on to as well. So I just encourage you with that today, and for you to do what you see and not do what you do. And at the end of the day, you remember that God is faithful.